Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Good to see all of you again. At Tommy Time, we're serious about small engine and small engine repair. Today is no different. Lady in my neighborhood pulled up a little while ago, said she couldn't get her mower to start. I had worked on this for her maybe a year ago. It came in non-running. I remember the machine. It had rat damage here, and I remember this sticker here from northerntool.com. Parts, service and repair, small engine pros, fast turnaround, expert service, any repair, any brand. That sounds like Tommy Time's motto. So she said it was running fine. She went to refuel it. She had some fuel in her carport. Refueled it, it wouldn't start. I asked her what fuel she was using. She said non-ethanol. So I got it on the ground. I sprayed a little starting fluid, aka ether, into the carb. It started and installed. She said, "Is that good or bad?" I said, "A little good, a little bad." Fired off, so that means we got compression and spark. It didn't stay running, so we have contamination in the bowl or in the tank, probably water, which can be corrected. So that's what we're going to do today. TB230, it's a 725 EXI, and I'm looking for the model number on this. I don't see it. 2015 though here in the tank. So let's get busy. So there's 2 8s that hold this beauty ring down, 2 8mm screws, something like that. The beauty ring has a hook that faces forward, so you got to push this back and up to get it off once those screws come off. So it's something like that. You see that hook? That hook right there faces forward, so you got to push this back to get it off. So we got to take the coil off because it holds down the tank. We did one of these a while back. I had noticed she cuts the grass low on her deck height. I asked her why. She said she's got weeds. Just checking the automatic choke, seeing if the choke is getting caught up here. But we know it's fuel because it started installed after the spray combusted. Let's look at the air filter. Well used filter, kind of packed right there. So I'm wondering if that was starvation, but I think this is, it's bad, but it's not completely blocked. And she said it was running, so I don't think it's a blocked filter. But we have a new one. I'm going to give her a new one. So let me use the 8mm and take these 3 off. 1, 2, 3 back there. Take those off. This comes off, and then I can pull the tank. Put those there. For the AB compound, just if you were curious what I use, Turtel or Kafut are both AB compound. There's tubes of A and B. You take equal amounts of paste from each tube put it on a piece of cardboard, take a popsicle stick, mix it up, and goop it on. It hardens like a rock, and the gas doesn't penetrate it. So this was a year ago or more, and it's still doing what it should. Good stuff. Okay, so recoil comes up. A lot of dust, dusty conditions. The fins here are packed. I can't see daylight. A lot of dust up in here. I'm going to tell her to start cutting the grass a little higher. Probably get a smaller screwdriver. I'm using a Phillips, but you get the idea. It's pretty caked up. You want that airflow through here to dissipate the engine heat. When this is all blocked up, the engine heat stays on the internals. Okay, we're getting sidetracked. 2 sheet metals on the outside, 8s. And then the 2 screws that go right into the carb, those are 7s, 7mm. Okay, that goes there. I'm going to rip that 8 out of my DeWalt and get a 7 on here. I hope you're seeing all this. I'll put you back out. Move this off to the side. Tank comes out or up, and then I take everything off as one. Once I pull the carb away from the engine, I kind of lean the carb to the back, undo the linkage for the choke, then turn the carb to this side to get the linkage off for the throttle. Just checking the rod. Rod looks bent, the linkage. Okay, I've got a clean bleach container cut in half. Let me just pour what's in the tank into my container just to get an idea if we got a watery solution. Not bad here, just debris, but I think a lot of that debris was me knocking the dirt off of the body of the gas tank. But I don't see water yet. Let me take the bowl off. Whatever little moisture maybe was in a little 1 gallon can worked its way down to the bowl. So I probably should remove the clip here, get rid of the tank separated to make it easier for me to work on. Hope you guys are doing good, surviving the summertime blues, the dog days of summer. Pretty hot here in Southwest Florida. I look forward to the middle of October, like the 13th, 14th, and 15th. Middle of the month, it starts cooling down. Middle of October. Mornings will be nice. Still might be a little hot during the day, but humidity will be down. And then we're fine till May. Got to put up with the summer, just like you guys in Traverse City, Michigan, have to deal with the fluffy white stuff. Okay, still looks like dirt. Dirt here. Let me take my big Stanley number 20 wide flathead. I stick it in the little gap there and twist. Let's see if I can see. There's some floating debris in there. The jet's open. I can see the jet. A little bit of debris there in the bowl, but no water. I'm going to take the cartridge out and clean that. We've got to see if this thing starts, because I don't see anything right away that says, aha. Okay, let me grab my compressed air. That's nice and clean. Let's get rid of the container. I don't need old gas hanging around. I'm going to let the gas in the tank drain into my container while I deal with this. I'm going to get a small flathead and pop up the cartridge. There's not one on my bench, but we'll rectify that with a crafty 41593 flathead. Okay, pop that up. Secondary cartridge is open. Want to take this apart, make sure there's nothing in here. Looks pretty good. I'm going to blast it with some air. Now I'm kind of curious why this thing's not running. That's all clean. Okay. Pushed it into place. Let me do some blasting. Little blasting on the fuel intake here. Blasts anything that might have been on the needle. I'm going to get a file. I'll show you. So this is a little sticky on the choke. I may pull this off and sand the plastic a little bit. But let me grab a file. This is what I file right here. You can either file it there or come up here with some channel locks and bend this out. What'll happen is this little bit of plastic will nudge up against that metal bracket and it'll catch itself. So all you got to do is take a rough bastard file and take a little meat off of this. So let me grab a file. We'll get busy. Okay, I got a half round from work zone. If you remember, all these used to carry tools. They don't so much anymore. I got a 6-pack of these files. They call it their brand Work Zone, but they don't seem to carry any tool stuff. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of that plastic off right there. Doesn't take much. Okay. So I'm ready to reinstall. After I put the cartridge in, I'm just going to blast off some of this dirt from my dirty fingers. I don't want to contaminate. Two thumbs down, push that into place. Line up my bowl, make sure the divot in the bowl lines up with the jet because that's where it's going to be picking up fuel. If this is full of water, it sits right on the under the brass jet there and just pulls in water. Okay. Grab the 2 screws with the wide washer head. Those are the ones that go to the bowl. Since these were the last ones I took off, my bit's still 7 on the DeWalt. Okay, while I have that off, let me start poking this dirt. I'm going to get a smaller pick style something or other and start poking this through. Maybe put the carb out of the way. I don't want any of the snot blasting into my freshly cleaned carburetor. Okay, what do I have? I got a small screwdriver. and a pick. Okay, I can see daylight on one of the fins. The screwdriver might be a little bit too wide for this. Okay, there's also a channel right here, which I just cleaned out. Let me get the compressed air. Clucky, you're going to need a bath. Okay, I covered you guys in dust. Okay. We can see daylight down there, so we're good on that. Look at all the crap I kicked up. I gotta wash Clucky today, whether he likes it or not. Okay, time to put this turd back together again. I'll put this on and then blast the tank out with some compressed air. While I got this off, I may put a little lubrication up here. Spring doesn't seem to be pulling it back. We've had that issue a couple of times now on some of the other machines. That seemed to help. See the action now. It's pulling it back close. Before it was sticking open right like that. So when I get it on, I'll show you what I mean about the binding up here on the plastic. Put my choke linkage in. See the air gap there now? It's not binding up. If you don't file that plastic down, it catches itself there. You can either file plastic or take some channel locks right about there and pull out a little bit. I'm happy now. Okay, grab the tank. I've had it sitting over the bleach container, dripping. Let me just put some air into it. Okay, that seems pretty good. I'm going to blast some of this debris from up here around the O-ring. Oh yeah. So the mystery is still unsolved. Why did she have issues? Because I don't see any visible water in the fuel that I've looked at. Going to put the hose clamp on the carby side. Okay, that's on. Now it's going to be reverse. I'm just going to blast this off. I've covered it in sand. Or dirt, whatever you want to call it. Sandy dirt. Florida sandy dirt. I'm refreshing. Today it's combination Mountain Dew and root beer. Okay, the sevens. This lady actually lives next door to the neighborhood scrapper, the guy that shows up Saturday morning. I think it's just a coincidence because I found him just rolling through the neighborhood. I finally caught up to him one day and told him what I wanted. Then I didn't hear anything. Then I saw him again, asked him again. He didn't have anything. And then finally, I think after the third time, he knew I was a serious candidate for junk on four wheels. He come up with something for me. But this lady, I think, was just going down my street and saw all the mowers, and she probably said, this guy might be able to help me out with the rat damage on the tank and the machine don't run. Okay. Everything is looking good. Let me take a little used oil. I'm going to come up here to the recoil and kind of oil up the spring. You can see the spring hook right there. I'm going to just force some oil down that hole. I'm going to take some oil and put it on that pawl. Come up to this pawl and put some right there, and then a little bit right there on the clip. Give it a couple of pulls. And then I'm going to put a little bit up here on the nut so the next technician has an easier time. In case he's got to remove the flywheel, I'm just going to give that a squirt. I'm still mad at Briggs for not putting a hole in these cups to let the rainwater. You leave these outside, this whole thing fills up and it rusts the nut and threads, and it's a bear. It's a grizzly bear to get that thing off if it's been sitting in rusty water. Okay, tank's down. We're looking pretty. Put the 3 on again for the recoil. The 8 is still on my DeWalt. Okay, I'm just going to set this up here in case I got to do more work. If it starts, I'll do that off camera, finish putting it on. Okay, so we're kind of level up here on my cart. I'm going to check. We'll wait till we get down. I'll check the oil level. Clucky, you want to go for a ride? It'd be like an elevator, one way down. Okay, Clucky says, yeah, let me put this table down. I got a little fuel here to fuel this. Okay, I'll move it off the table, check oil, and then I blasted some of this dirt off. Oh, I sharpened the blade for her before I put it on the table. Okay. Let me blast some of this dust off, fuel it, then I might move it up a little bit out of the sand patch. So I hope this thing starts. I told her to pick it up tomorrow. Okay. Gotta stop at Wawa. I'm down to my last half gallon here. Okay, that should be enough to test it out. Okay. Okay, now we're going to check oil. See if she's used this thing a lot. I can tell by the filter it's been in dirty conditions. And it don't look too bad. And it's right where it should be. She could get another season out of this oil. Okay, let me move you up. I just adjusted the rear wheels. I had them down flat so it wouldn't roll off my table. Okay, let's pull on it. Clucky, you got to get in the picture. See if you're not around, things go terribly wrong. When you're around, it's so much nicer. Okay, so that worked out. So I'm not sure why this thing gave us an issue. It's kind of a fluke. I do see a couple of very small beads of water down there. Yeah, I kind of moved it to the side. You see that one right there? That's a bead of water. Could that have been enough to throw me off? It wouldn't have filled that little cavity in the bowl. The dirt's trying to eat the water. Anyway, it's running. I don't have to screw with it. I can call, or she's going to come automatically. I told her to come in the morning and pick up the 2015 TB230. So I think she'll be happy. I'm going to try to convince her to put the deck up a little bit higher. She's really chopping the shit out of everything and causing a lot of debris to be kicked up. So all I got to do is put the 2 screws on the beauty ring here and I'm done. Push this out back, secure it so she gets her machine tomorrow and it doesn't disappear overnight, which I have never had anything taken. I had a Chevy tool truck years ago with the Reading utility bed. I would carry all my crap in that, go to car auctions and whatnot. I actually left the side compartment open facing the street with every imaginable tool. Somebody could have scooped up a bucket full of tools. I was working on something, I guess, I forgot to shut it, come out the next day and not a toothpick was missing. I thought, holy cow, this is a good neighborhood. Somebody could have totally cleaned me out, but they didn't. Okay, you guys, have a good rest of your day. Appreciate you checking out Tommy Time, where we look at junk on four wheels and try to find solutions to get them to run again. Tip your waitress. Yeah, your waitress and wait staff. Adios, amigos. We'll do another one for you. See you.